What is going on, everybody? We are back. Our first team in the American League of this franchise series, the Baltimore Orioles, a team I'm a huge fan of. I just love the roster, the young talent they have in the minor leagues and on the major league roster. This team is loaded, and it's good to see the Orioles playing well. They're definitely one of the favorites in the American League to win the World Series, in my opinion. Let's go through this roster and let's get to work. So, starting rotation, Kyle Bradish, who's really turned into a really good starter for them. Got him signed till 2029, so they are good there. Corbin Burns, who they got in that trade with the Brew Crew. They gave up DL Hall, another prospect. He's going to be spectacular probably for them. Free agent after the year, though, it's going to be interesting to see if the Orioles decide to re-sign him. They don't really give out huge contracts, so that's going to be something to keep an eye for, and that's going to be something I have to decide on as well. Do we re-sign Corbin Burns? He's only 29. He'll be age 30 by next season. He'll be probably 31, 32 by the time his franchise is over, so that's something to keep an eye on. Tyler Wells became a really reliable starter, was a reliever. Grayson Rodriguez, who they're really high on, who could still be really, really good. He's only 24 years of age. And then John Means, who's really been injured, especially the last two seasons. But man, was he spectacular when he threw that no hitter, I believe, and everything. He's just, if they can get him healthy for an extended amount of time, he'll be a huge help. And they got Cole Irvin who they got from the A's 2 seasons ago. Dean Kramer. Don't really have any like top pitching prospects outside of Grayson Rodriguez. I mean, they got this guy, Cade Pavic, who's 23, B potential, but no A potential. Most of the prospects are position players who they could eventually use in a trade for another ace or maybe more starting pitching help. In the bullpen, they got Danny Colomé, Yener Cano. I think I pronounced his first name right. He's been really good for them. Brian Baker, Dylan Tate, Jacob Webb, Cieno, Perez, like they got some good bullpen pieces. Obviously, they got Craig Kimbrell, who they signed in the offseason, who's really one of the best closers of all time. I know he struggled with the Cubs for a few years, but he's still just really good at his age. And then you got Felix Batista, who got injured, going to be out the whole season. We'll get him healthy. Not sure we're going to have as a closer, though. I mean, obviously, Craig Kimbrell's 35, so he's going to drop an overall. Maybe we put him as a setup man and put Felix Batista in the closer role because he had 33 saves last year. We'll see what we decide on that. Adley Rutschman, we're good at catcher. This guy's an absolute stud. We already know, not a free agent until 2028. James McCann, who didn't really work out for the Mets. They ended up getting him from New York. Just a solid backup catcher, free agent after the year, so maybe we look for a backup catcher. But we also have Michael Perez, Samuel Basallo, who's only 19, 63 overall. A lot of catching depth. First base, you got Ryan Mountcastle, who's been a good slugger for them the last 3 seasons. Ryan O'Hearn, the backup first baseman / outfielder. Second base, you got Jordan Westberg, who's going to be a really good player for them. Just tons of young talent on this Orioles team. Ori Mateo, who's been a solid guy off the bench for them. Not really much of a hitter, but just speed and can play good defense. Jackson Holiday, what is there not to say? This kid's going to be an absolute stud. I know he struggled when he got called up, but fans got to remember he's only 20 years old. Not everybody's going to be Juan Soto right out the gate. He'll definitely be back on the major league roster eventually for them. Third base is definitely something they could look to upgrade, or we could look to upgrade. Ramon Urias, not a terrible hitter. I mean, he hit 264. Just not much of a power guy. Only a 72 overall. He's 29. Still got him for a few seasons. They do have Kobe Mayo, who is going to be a stud. Not sure how he's going to be used in our franchise. I have to see. Gunnar Henderson, I mean, this guy's a star. 28 home runs already last season. He's 22 years of age. Just going to be an absolute stud. And they have some outfielders as well. I mean, they got Colton Cowser, who they're really high on. Austin Hayes, who's really had a solid tenure with the Orioles. He is a free agent after next season, so that's a decision we have to make. Cedric Mullins also going to be hitting free agency after next season. He's just been reliable, especially on defense for them. Ryan McKenna, Kyle Stowers. And then right field, they got Anthony Santander, who's a free agent after this year. So him and Corbin Burns are really the two big names the guy to decide on. Really just been a reliable hitter since 2019. I mean, he's a guy who can hit for power. Not much of a defender, but just a switch hitter with power. Spent his entire career in Baltimore. That's a tough decision for the O's because they got guys like Kergerstad, think I'm pronouncing that right. Only 25, another young prospect they have. So tons of talent, tons of potential trade chips we could, trade. But really, besides third base, this team is covered when it comes to position players. I mean, the depth they have is just incredible. And, I'm really hoping we can get a World Series with this team. I think we have the team to do it. We just have to decide on who we want to resign. So I'm going to go ahead and get this franchise underway, and I will see you guys at the trade deadline. So first trade deadline, and we're sitting in a really good spot, 66 and 42, 11 and a half games up on the Yankees. This division has been, very underwhelming. Really thought this was going to be a tough division. Yankees are only one game above 500. Rays are a game under 500. Red Sox and Blue Jays are struggling mightily. Not really what I expected. So let's see what everybody's been doing and what we might need to upgrade through trade. Cedric Mullins having a great year so far, 14 home runs, 50 RBIs, 269 average. Jordan Westburg's putting up solid numbers, 10 home runs, 47 RBIs. All his numbers are up across the board. Gunnar Henderson's having another awesome year. Average and on base could be a little better. The slug's a little down, but still going to probably have 30 home runs. Anthony Santander, numbers are a little down, but still going to give us 20 home runs. Definitely needs to get better with the average, though, even though his average has not really ever been that great. Ryan Mountcastle's power has just disappeared so far. Definitely need to get that up. 8 home runs, 36 RBIs in 98 games ain't going to cut it. Colton Cowser's been solid. 10 home runs, 37 RBIs. Jackson Holiday, we decided to put him in a platoon role. Ramon Urias, 282 average, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs. Walks, on base is solid. Not bad for his first season at all. Jorge Mateo, not great so far. Looks like he's our DH, which is interesting. Not sure why that's the case. And then Adley Rutschman having an okay season. Looks like he's been in and out of the lineup. I think he's battled a few injuries in and out, so hopefully he can get going in the second half and really get his numbers back to where they typically are. And off the bench, we saw Mateo, not great. James McCann, for a backup catcher, I always say this every video, but for a backup catcher, I don't really expect a lot of offense. I just expect kind of just good defense and the way you handle a pitching staff. Ramon Urias I think he's facing against right-handers? No, against left-handers, excuse me. But he's been good. 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, 260 average, slugging over 400. Austin Hayes off the bench. Maybe he's in a platoon role against lefties too. So he's been good against lefties. 6 home runs, 30 RBIs, 17 walks. So lineup looks good. There's a few guys like Santander and Rutzman and Mountcastle need to get going, but I think we're still playing good overall. Let's take a look at the pitching staff. Kyle Bradish has been on a roll, 8-5, 2.99 ERA. Corbin Burns, 10-7, 2.51 ERA. Tyler Wells, solid ERA, 3.71, 9-4 record. And then Grayson Rodriguez, ERA a little high, but for a fourth starter, that's not bad numbers. And then John Means has been awesome as well, 11-3, 3.38 ERA. He's also a free agent after the year. So we got some decisions to make with our pitching staff. Dean Kramer, also been phenomenal, 2.06 ERA, 11-5 record. Dylan Tate's been good out of the pen as well, 2.84 earned run average. Yerner Cano, 3.52 ERA. And then Brian Baker's been awesome, 0.96 ERA in 18 innings. Perez not been great, only small sample size, but that small sample size, he's got to be better. Danley Colomé, 0.83 ERA. Craig Kimbrell, ERA a little high, but still not bad for a setup reliever. And then Felix Bautista, 32 saves. He's blown 6 saves, which is already tied for the same amount he blew last season in save opportunities, but still not a bad year. So I look at this team. There's a few guys underperforming in the lineup. The starting rotation has been great. Nobody's really had a high ERA. Grayson Rodriguez, 4.6 was a little high, but other than that, all ERAs under 4. Bullpen, really outside of Perez, has been awesome. It's tough to decide what to really get. I did put Burns on the trade block because I know he's a free agent to be, just to see if we get any unbelievable offers. Didn't get anything. Matt McClain's always on the trade block, it seems like. I'm going to see what Corbin Burns wants in an extension because I feel like he's so important to the staff. 5 years, 109.5. We only got 8.4 million on the payroll. I'm going to go ahead and offer Corbin Burns that. I think that's a reasonable deal. John Means, we'll see how he finishes the year. We got Danley Colomé. I don't know if I'll offer him an extension yet. He's 34. Usually don't start dropping overall till 35, 36, so we'll see. And then Craig Kimbrell's 35. He's already dropping overall, so have to see on that. And then Santander's not having a great year so far. I'm not going to offer him an extension until we see how he finishes the season. So I'm not going to make any moves with this team. I feel like everybody's really doing what they need to do. Like I said, a few guys in the lineup are underperforming, but I think they're going to click. We have such a comfortable lead, and sometimes you don't want to mess with clubhouse chemistry. So I'm going to leave the team as is. We signed Corbin Burns that extension, and let's see if we can make a run in the postseason. So I'll see you guys then. Full season is in the books. We have some league leaders. Corbin Burnes led the league in innings pitched. That's good to see. And then I'm going to skim through. Actually, let me see the record. 97 and 65. We dominate the division. The Yankees end up getting in as a wild card along with the Rangers. Looks like the Mariners. So a wild card was all steady. Let's see how everybody performed. I won't show it at the All-Star break next season or the season after just because I feel like we're going to be in the playoffs. I want to save some time on the video and try to keep under an hour. So Cedric Mullins, solid campaign, 19 home runs, 69 RBIs. Jordan Westburg, 20 home runs, so showing a little bit of pop. Definitely improving that power. Gunnar Henderson, 32 home runs, 88 RBIs, another good year for him. Anthony Santander ended up finishing with a very good season, 26 home runs, 82 RBIs. Ryan Mountcastle, just a down year for Ryan. Hopefully he could bounce back in the playoffs and next season. Colton Cowser gave us a little bit of pop as well. A lot of guys who ain't really known for their power. Obviously, he has a 72 home run overall against righties, but 17 home runs is pretty impressive. Jackson Holliday, not amazing numbers, but not horrible numbers either for his first full season. And looks like we're missing a DH. I'll put Ryan O'Hearn, who ended up hitting 277 with 11 home runs and 37 RBIs. And then Adley Rutschman just couldn't really get going power-wise, but hit 276. The numbers are, slugging is pretty much the only number that's down. So hopefully he gets that power back. James McCann had a mess season. Ramon Urias against lefties raked 10 home runs, 42 RBIs, 301 average. Austin Hayes against lefties raked as well. And then Ryan McKenna didn't really give us much off the bench. Let's take a look at the pitching. Kyle Bradish was phenomenal, 13-7, 2.67 ERA. Corbin Burnes, 13-13 ERA, about close to his last two seasons. And then we look at Tyler Wells, great year for him as well, 3.42 ERA, 15-5 record, 135 strikeouts. Grayson Rodriguez was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't like a spectacular season, but, he gave us good innings, a lot of strikeouts. And then John Means had an awesome year as well, 13-6, 3.43 ERA. So our rotation got the job done, even though there's some cold symbols. Dean Kramer could be making his case to replace John Means in the rotation. 17-10 out of the bullpen, 3 saves, 6 holds, and a 2.77 ERA. Could make a case for him to be in the rotation. Dylan Tate did his job out of the bullpen. Yener Cano, 2.56 ERA, so a lot of low ERAs out of the pen. Brian Baker was awesome, 1.16 earned run average in 23 innings. Perez brought that ERA down. He only pitched 7 innings total all year, but still. Danny Colomé was phenomenal, 1.01 ERA. Craig Kimbrell gave us a good campaign, 29 holds, 2.54 ERA. And then Felix Bautista, 47 saves, blew 8 saves, but still not a bad campaign. Not as good as he was the last 2 seasons, though, so hopefully next season he bounces back with the ERA. So let's see who we're facing in the first round. So we're facing the Seattle Mariners. This ought to be a hell of a series. Let me put on them pretty orange Oriole jerseys. We got Kyle Bradish on the mound. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a Game 1 win. Let's see if our offense can get going here early on. So the Mariners take a 2-0 lead in the second inning. Let's see if we can get those runs back against Bryce Miller, who's been awesome so far in this game. Only 1 hit allowed. So our offense is getting shut down right now. Looks like Kyle Bradish gets out of it. There's a solo home run by Colton Cowser. Gets us on the board. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Strikeout. Sac fly. So we tie the game up. The Mariners take the lead right back. Luke Raley. So it looks like it's time to take out Kyle Bradish. Put in Dean Kramer. Give us some innings he gets out of it. So 1-run lead for the Mariners. Dean Kramer in a little bit of trouble. Gives up a hit. That's it. There's a double by Ryan O'Hearn. Gregory Santos in the pitch. We do not score. Leadoff double, a walk, strikeout, and line out. So bottom of the eighth, Matt Brash in the pitch, and we do not get any runs. So I'm going to put in Danny Colomé, double, line out, runner thrown out, and pop-up. So bottom of the ninth, we're facing Andres Munoz. Walk, and a 2-run walk-off home run for Ryan O'Hearn gets us the Game 1 win. What a clutch home run right there. Let's sim Game 2. We end up losing that, so we're going to Seattle tied 1-1. Let's see if we can take a 2-1 series lead here. Tyler Wells on the mound. Leadoff single by Mullins doesn't lead to nothing. Solo shot by Nolan Jones, a double, a fly out, so 1-0 Mariners. Colton Cowser gets a double, doesn't lead to nothing. George Kirby gives up a solo shot to Jordan Westbrook. Looks like he's hurt because they put in Ramon Urias. That's not good. There's a solo home run by Josh Rojas. And there's another run. And Tyler Wells hasn't been great so far. There's another home run by Luke Raley. It might be time to take Wells out of it. We're going to put in Yerta Cano. Gives up a run. 6-1 Mariners here. Maybe one more inning out of them. So there's a leadoff double by Arias. Santander drives him in. Ryan Mountcastle drives in Santander. So we got something going. Bases loaded, one out. Taylor Saucedo in the pitch, and he gives up one run with the bases loaded. So we're going to put in Danny Coleman at phase 2 left. Leadoff double, strikeout, walk. So it's time to bring in Brian Baker. Gets a double play with the bases loaded. Gregory Santos in the pitch. 1, 2, 3 inning. Walk, single. So it's time to put in another pitcher. Dylan Tate. Another run scores. So it's 4-7. Top of the 8th. Gabe Spear in the pitch. Runner gets thrown out at home. Leadoff double by Jose Rodriguez. Let's bring in Kimbrel. Walk, line out, walk, strikeout. So top of the 9th, down 3 runs. Matt Brash comes in the pitch. Strikeout, fly out. So not looking good here, folks. Down 2-1. We got to win this game 4. Let's see if we can do it here. Grace around. I'm going to put John Means. He's been better this season. That might be a gamble. Logan Gilbert on the mound. There's a single by Arias. Double play. There's a solo shot by Jackson Holiday. Gets us a 1-0 lead. Let's see if we can keep this lead. We do so far. John Means giving up a little bit of hits. There's a tying run. 2 more runs score. And it's 3-1. 2 on. Bases loaded, and we get out of it. We got to get some offense here, Jackson. There's a solo shot by Luke Raley. He is raking against us in this series. 2-run bomb by Ty France, and this game is busted wide open, folks. 6-1. Looks like our season might be coming to an unfortunate end early unless we can get this offense going. Not good at all. Logan Gilbert has been phenomenal, only giving up 2 hits and 1 run. That was off the Jackson Holiday home run. He has been awesome. We don't score. We get absolutely shut down by Logan Gilbert. Not the way I want. Not the way I wanted to go at all in the first season. So let's see who wins the World Series. The Phillies defeat the Astros to win the World Series. So we got some work to do. I feel like our offense didn't really come through in that series. We got some free agent decisions to make. Santander, John Means, Colomé, Craig Kimbrel. So I'm going to get to work, and I will show you guys what we did at the beginning of the second season. So about to make a trade for my Cardinals second baseman Nolan Gorman. I think in Baltimore, that lefty sweet swing he has would probably hit 35 to 40 home runs. And we're giving up a lot. We're giving up Kobe Mayo, our top third base prospect. We got Jackson Holiday. We can put Nolan Gorman at third base. Probably even platoon him and Jackson Holiday if we have to. I know they're both lefties. Or even, have one of them be a DH. I think it would work. We're giving up Ramon Urias, who had a good year last year. I just don't really see much room for him to play, especially with Gorman. And we're also giving up Jorge Mateo. Had a down year. Maybe the Cardinals can use his utility a lot better than we did. So I think this is a good trade. We are about to begin our second season. I made a big signing. I ain't going to lie to you. I signed Juan Soto. I know some of you Oriole fans are thinking, Juan Soto, we wouldn't spend that type of money. New ownership, potentially. He fits in perfectly with the Orioles timeline. People forget Juan Soto's still only 25 years of age right now. He's going to be 26 in this franchise. He's still young as hell. And he fits right in with this timeline. I mean, look at these players. He fits right into where they're at right now. So I thought, you know what? We let Santander walk. We didn't really have a lot of money tied up in the players. I know there's going to be a lot of players due for contract extensions. I don't know if they're all going to be due for contract extensions in our 3-year timeline. So I thought it made sense to replace Santander. We struggled on offense. So let's go out and get a Juan Soto, fit him in with this timeline. Starting rotation, we did let John Means walk just to, say not spend a ton of money. But, Dean Kramer. I've heard some say Kramer. I think it's Dean Kramer. He pitched very well last year for us. I think he could fit right in that rotation in that 5th spot and really be a cheaper option than John Means. If he struggles, we go out and make a trade. We also got Cade Povic. We had to add to the 40-man, so he could be potentially 6, swing man or 6, slide in the rotation, slide out. Bullpen, we signed Carlos Estevez. We ended up letting Craig Kimbrel walk. Just keeps declining in overall. Had a good year last year, 2.77 ERA. It's a 1-year, $5.7 million deal. Thought it made a lot of sense. Other than that, the bullpen's pretty much the same. It could be our weak link, the bullpen. We'll have to see. Maybe that's something we have to focus on the deadline. We also have Jack Rubio, who's B potential. I think we drafted him potentially. So maybe he makes, you know, a debut either this season or next season. Then we also got Felix Batista. We're hoping bounces back. We signed Gary Sanchez to be our backup catcher. Didn't really have a good year last year, but he still has some pop in his bat. Maybe could give us, some power off the bench, especially when Days Adley needs days off. And he was hurt a lot last year too, so maybe if he gets hurt again, hopefully not. But if he does, we have Gary Sanchez. We brought Ryan O'Hearn back. I thought he had a good year last year. A lefty power bat off the bench, potentially DH as well. Jordan Westberg had a phenomenal year last year. Not phenomenal, but really good year. Jackson Holiday. Not sure what Jackson's role is potentially going to be. I think maybe put him at third base or DH with Gorman. We ended up trading for Gorman. You guys saw that. I think he's going to be a huge addition to this team with Soto. I think those two are going to rake at Oriole Park. And then Gunnar Henderson at shortstop. We ended up signing Paul DeYoung just to be an extra bat off the bench. We signed some guys with some pop off the bench. Just so we have a little bit of guys you could fill in. Colton Cowser, Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, and then obviously Juan Soto, who was hurt last year, but I think he can have a huge year as well. So I hope these moves make up for offense and the lack of offense in the postseason. I'm worried about the bullpen a little bit. I think Dean Kramer will fit in fine, but we will see. I will see you guys at the trade deadline. So our team's been up and down. I'm going to go ahead and make a trade. For Matt McLean, we're going to give up Taron Vavra, who's in AAA, playing okay, not really playing anything spectacular, and Cedric Mullins. Might throw in another young prospect, Enrique Bradfield Jr., just to make trade a little bit more even. I feel like we're giving up a good amount. I mean, we're giving up our starting center fielder who's due for free agency, and Reds have him on the trade block. He's hitting for average, he's not hitting for power, but we have way too many lefties in this lineup. I didn't realize when we got Gorman Soto, we already had so many lefties. Need to get a right-handed bat, so Matt McClain's going to fill out that void. So I'm going to go ahead and make this deal. The trade deadline, we are sitting in first place, 61-47. Not as good as last year, but we've had a ton of injuries. Let me show you all the injuries. Corbin Burns ended up getting hurt. He's only out 1 to 2 weeks, but still, for 1 to 2 weeks, a big blow to our starting rotation. Not having the best year so far, but still a crucial part of what we want to be. We also had Jackson Holiday have a broken shin. He was having a really good year. He's out 1 to 2 months. Matt McLean ended up dislocating his shoulder. He was having a great year. Paul DeYoung, even though he wasn't really playing a crucial part of our team, still a solid bat off the bench, 1 to 2 months with a torn finger ligament. So we've had a ton of injuries, and I don't know, it's just not been fun for our team so far with the injuries. Let's see what's on the trade block. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is on the trade block. Now we traded a lot of prospect capital, and unfortunately Gorman has just not played well at all. I don't know what it is. Maybe change of scenery. Just not hitting well in the ballpark. I don't know, 5 home runs, the trade deadline for Nolan Gorman. And he's playing every day. He ain't in a platoon role. He's playing either first, third, or DH every day. Just has not hit the baseball, and I don't know what it is. Do we go out and get a Jesus Luzardo? We need, he could really help out our rotation. I wouldn't say we need rotation help, but he could really help out. Do we go out and get Jazz Chisholm Jr.? He's having a really good year. We'll have him for the rest of the franchise. We've already got a lot of big bats in the lineup. Let's see who they want for Jesus Luzardo. So they want Felix Batista and Cade Pavic. Now, I'm okay giving up Cade Pavic. I feel like he's having not a pretty good year, okay year for his first year. I'm okay throwing him in there. Dean Kramer is actually pitching really well. He's worked out for the rotation, 2.57 ERA. He's been really reliable for us. Tyler Wells has been good. Grayson Rodriguez has been good. Corbin Burns having a down year, like I said, and Kyle Bradish is pretty much having a typical Kyle Bradish season, if you look at it that way. So our rotation doesn't need the help, but do we want to make sure we're good where we don't have to worry about the rotation? We can move Dean Kramer back to the bullpen, even though he's pitching well. Do we move? I mean, I don't know. I don't really feel like we need rotation help. Jazz, I would love to have Jazz on our team, but they'd probably want a ton for Jazz. We could use an extra outfielder. I mean, imagine an outfielder of Matt McLean, Juan Soto, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. That would be phenomenal. But Colton Cowser, not having a great year. Do we throw in Colton Cowser in the Jazz trade? Upgrade left field? Who else could we throw in this trade that they'd really be interested in? Let's throw in Mac Horvath. And we got a young catcher, Samuel Basalo, who's playing really, really well right now in AAA. He's not going to get regular at-bats with Adley, though. I mean, I'd be okay making this trade. I know I've made a ton of trades, but this Orioles team has so much prospect capital that you were able to make these trades. This is really the most prospects I've seen on a team, and this is a team that's competing right now. It ain't like a team that's rebuilding, which is really impressive. I think I'm gonna make this trade. I'm gonna add Jazz to this team. I'm gonna be very disappointed if I don't win a World Series. That's gonna be the one move I make. I think, if we get healthy before the playoffs, we'll go on a run. We add Jazz to play the outfield. I really like that move. Pitching, if I look at the bullpen, has our bullpen played well? Bruce Zimmerman's been not great. Cade Pavic's been solid. Brian Baker, another good year. Perez has bounced back. Well, not even bounced back. He's played well. Estevez has been a good signing. Dylan Tate, down year. Cano's been awesome. Felix Batista has been awesome. So really, I think the pitching's been good. We just got to get healthy. If we get healthy, I think we'll go on a run. So I will see you guys at the playoffs. It's over. We end up finishing 98 and 64. So we got everybody healthy, like I hope. We end up bouncing back, winning 98 games. We had some league leaders. Kyle Bradish led the league in WAR and winning percentage, and Juan Soto led the league in batting average, hits, base or walks, and on base percentage. So Juan Soto really doing what we paid him to do. Cy Young Award winner Kyle Bradish, Hank Aaron Award winner Juan Soto, AL Rookie of the Year Cade Pavic, and right field batting I can't speak. Juan Soto won a batting title, so Juan Soto was worth every penny that we paid him. Now the question is, there ain't a lot of room for Cade on this roster. I mean, really, we got a stacked 26-man roster, and there's no room for him really. It's unfortunate. He had a pretty solid year. Rookie of the Year. I just don't think there's room, unfortunately, for him on this roster. So that's unfortunate for him. Actually, there is room. We are good. So let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Send Ryan McKenna, or actually let me add Cade to the playoff roster and remove McKenna. So we are good. So Ryan McKenna didn't really do too much anyways. So let's see what everybody did. Jazz Chisholm Jr., awesome season. Not an awesome season, but another Jazz season. Really a career year for Jazz in Baltimore. 23 home runs, 65 ribbies. Ryan Mountcastle bounced back like we hoped. 31 home runs, 88 RBIs. Juan Soto gave us a Juan Soto season. 36 home runs, 97 RBIs. Hit 339, slugged 583. Gunnar Henderson, another great year. Jordan Westburg continues to get better, continues to improve. Nolan Gorman, he had a better second half. Just that first half was just horrible. Hopefully he gives us a good playoff run. We need his bat. Adley Russman bounced back in the power department, 20 home runs. Matt McClain gave us a solid campaign, 18 home runs, 64 RBIs, 273 average. Ryan O'Hearn, another good year for him. He's been good in that DH and first base spot. Gary Sanchez just did not provide much in that backup catcher spot. We was really hoping for at least 7 home runs. They had 10 home runs. Only hit 1. Paul DeYoung was hurt a lot of the year. I'll take 6 home runs off a bench bat and 26 RBIs. Jackson Holliday, gonna be tough to find a spot for him to play. And I think we might have to move Gorman to first base and put O'Hearn on the bench and go from there because Jackson Holliday needs to be playing. There ain't no questions asked about it. And then Austin Hayes, we really had to move him to the bench because we have so many good players now. There's really not. We have a stacked outfield of McClain, Jazz, and Soto. So we might have to let him walk in free agency. But he had a solid campaign: 10 home runs, 35 RBIs. Let's take a look at the pitching before we get this second postseason underway. What about Kyle Bradish? No wonder he won a Cy Young. 18-4, 2.27 ERA. Corbin Burns needs to bounce back. 4.09 ERA is unlike Corbin Burns. Tyler Wells had an awesome season, 11-7, 3.03 ERA. Grayson Rodriguez had a better campaign. And then Dean Kramer, exactly what we hoped, 18-8 record, 2.54 ERA. Dylan Tate, great year for him, 3.27 ERA for Dylan. Cade Pavic, we showed his numbers before. Brian Baker's been Mr. Reliable out of the pen, 2.25 earned run average. Perez had a pretty shockingly good year. Carlos Perez was a good free agent signing, 3.31 ERA. Jacob Webb didn't pitch, but he's going to be on our roster for the postseason. Cano was spectacular, 1.90 ERA. And then Felix Batista bounced back, saved 40 saves again, and had a lower ERA. So let's get this postseason underway. Hopefully we have a better postseason than last year. We're going to be facing the Texas Rangers. This ought to be a hell of a first round. So let's do it. Kyle Bradish, the Cy Young Award winner, on the mound. Let's see if we can get this round 1 win. Early run for the Rangers, and they score 4-0 in the first inning off the Cy Young win. We got bases loaded for Gunnar. 1 run scores. That's all we get. Kyle Bradish is not looking too good against the Texas Rangers so far. Leadoff double for Matt McLain. Do not score. Carlos Rodon pitching in this. Looks like they got him from the Yankees. 2-on, 3-run bomb by Matt McLain ties the game. What a clutch home run. And Ryan Mountcastle gets us a 5-4 lead. So maybe one more inning out of Bradish. Good work by him. 6 strong innings. Tyler Mahle on the mound. Let's see if we can get some extra runs. So we're facing Marcus Semien, Langford, and Isbell. So we're going to bring in Carlos Estevez. Solo shot by Marcus Semien ties it up. And we got to switch pitchers. Estevez is not looking too hot. So we're going to bring in Perez. And they take a 6-5 lead off the sac fly. Maybe one more inning out of Perez. Bottom of the 8th, Jose Leclerc in the pitch. Leadoff single by Westberg. And a double play by Matt McLain. So we're going to bring in Pavic, face some lefties, 1, 2, 3 innings. So we're facing Josh Shabors, bottom of the 9th, down 1. Ground out by Jackson, ground out by Jazz, and a solo game-tying shot by Ryan Mountcastle ties the game. Emilio Pagan in the pitch, and we get a runner thrown out at home. Wow, what a clutch piece of hitting. We keep the game tied, bottom of the 10th. Single, bunt, ground out, pop up. Emilio Pagan still in pitching. So is Cade. 2 singles hit by a pitcher we got to take on. We're going to bring in Felix Bautista. Strikeout and fly out. What a job by Felix Bautista. Cody Hewer in the pitch. Keeps the game tied. One more inning out of Bautista. Double play. Leadoff double by Nolan Gorman. Jonathan Hernandez in 2 outs. Runner on second and a pop-up. So we're going to bring in Dylan Tate. Fly out, ground out. Jonathan Hernandez still in. No team can score right now. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Leadoff single by Westberg. Doesn't lead to nothing. Dylan Tate, 2-on. Got to switch pitchers again. Brian Baker gets the fly out. Solo walk-off home run by Jazz gets us a game 1. What a game 1. Back and forth. We take game 2. Can we take game 3? We sweep the Rangers and advance to the next round. Wow. Did not expect to sweep. Our offense is coming through so far. We're going to have Kyle Bradish on the mound game 1 against the Twins. Let's see if we can get a game 1 win and remain undefeated in this postseason. Solo shot by Juan Soto gets us a 1-0 lead. Bailey Ober trying to settle in after that home run. Kyle Bradish has been phenomenal so far in this game. Let's see if he can keep it up against a pretty good Twins team. Leadoff double, another double by Adley, another double by Matt McLain. It's 3-0. So our offense is coming through. This is what I hope for when I added guys like Juan Soto and Nolan Gorman to this offense. They bring in Louis Varland, gives up another run. Kyle Bradish still pitching a good game. Let's see if he can keep it up. Solo shot by Kurloff. Leadoff double, another run scores. Another run scores. And this game is getting out of hand. It is 8-1, 10-1. And this game is wide open right now. Let's see if Kyle Bradish can continue. Okay, we're going to take him out. He gave up 2 runs, so it's 3-10. We're going to bring in Dylan Tate here. Justin Topa in the pitch. Dylan Tate, one more inning out of him. We do. So we win game 1 in convincing fashion, 10-3. We lose game 2, so we're going to Minnesota, tied 1-1 in the series. Let's see if we can get this game win. Corbin Burns on the mound. Joe Ryan pitching. 3-run bomb by Juan Soto in the first. We are up and running here. There's a triple by Lewis, but doesn't lead to anything. Juan Soto has been worth every penny for this Orioles team. He's exactly what we need, a big bat who can drive in runs when we need him to. And he's been exactly that in this postseason so far. Corbin Burns pitching a spectacular game so far. 2 hits through 4 innings. Joe Ryan, really besides the solo home run, hasn't pitched bad either. There's a run right there by Edwin Julian, which might be time to take out Corbin Burns before it gets out of hand. Brian Baker in the pitch, and he gets out of it with us still having the lead. 2 bases loaded for Jazz. Strikes out. Soto drives in a run with a walk. So it's time to bring in Jacob Webb. See if he can, and he gives up 2 runs. Not what we wanted to see there. Let's bring in Perez. Keeps the game tied. Justin Topa in the pitch. Perez, 1 more inning. Good inning for him. Top of the 9th, still tied. Let's bring in Felix Bautista. Walk, single, strikeout, walk. fielder's choice, and he gets out of the bases loaded jam. Josh Staumont in the pitch. Still, and a solo shot by Byron Buxton wins them the game. So it is now a 2-1 series lead for the Minnesota Twins. That is a back burner right there. So we're gonna put Tyler Wells on the mound. Let's see if we can even this series up against Chris Paddock. And Minnesota solo shot by Willie Castro. Tyler Wells is not looking good so far in this game, but he gets out of the jam. A lot of runs, a lot of walks for Tyler Wells. They're just getting out of hand. We got to take him out early. This is not what we hope from Tyler Wells. 4-0. Cade Pavitt gives up a 3-run bomb. That is tough. That is tough. So I'm going to sim some of the half innings just through the pitching. It ain't looking like we're coming. So we scored 2 runs there. Cade's done a good job so far in this game. There's another run thanks to Lewis. So we're down 5. So he gives us a solid game. I mean, exactly what we hoped. Let's bring in Carlos Estevez. And he's not looking good either. He gets out of the jam. Top of the 9th inning, solo shot by Jazz. Walk by Ryan Mountcastle. Juan Soto drives in a run. We have life. They bring in their closer, Duran. Fly out. Another run scores, down 2. And he hit it into a double play to end it. So down 3-1 against the Minnesota Twins. Not what we hoped. Our backs are against the wall. We had to pull off an unbelievable comeback. Grayson Rodriguez on the mound. Solo shot by Jazz to lead off the game. 2-run bomb by Gunnar Henderson. And it's 3-0 Orioles in the first inning. So just to save a little bit of time, I'm going to sim our hitting as well. So still 3-0. Grayson Rodriguez gives up a 2-run bomb to Ryan Jeffers. And it's 3-2. Leadoff double by Martin, and they take the lead thanks to Lewis. 2-run bomb. Brian Baker in the pitch. Man, that is tough. We end up taking a 6-5 lead, though. So Josh Staumont in the pitch. Gives up 2 runs in the inning. We're going to bring in Perez here. Face a few lefties. Gets out of the jam. It is 10-5. Let's bring in Cano. See if he can shut him down. Here he does. So do we put in, I'm going to put in Dylan Tate. Dylan Tate in a little bit of a trouble, but he closes it out, and we take a 10-5 victory. So still down 3-2. We go back home trying to win back-to-back games. So let's see if we can do it here at Oriole Park. We're going to put Kyle Bradish on the mound, even though Dean Kramer's pitched spectacular. So Kyle Bradish looking good so far in this game. We're facing Pablo Lopez, and we took 2 runs on the board. There's a double, caught stealing. So 3-0 Orioles here. Twins got something going, but they can't get a run home. And Kyle Bradish is settling in now. He has been on a roll. So 2 singles and a double play. What a job by him. Top of the 9th inning, we're going to bring in Felix Bautista to close it out. Get us to a Game 7, and he does. So we have came back and won back-to-back games. Game 7 in Baltimore now of this series. Wow. So I'm going to put Corbin Burns on the mound. We paid him the money. Let's see if he can get the job done. Here at home, Game 7, solo shot by Lewis. Gets him on the board. And we end up tying the game up. So that's good to see. Joe Ryan, who pitched good against us the first time, besides the Juan Soto home run, takes a 3-1 lead. Corbin Burns settling a little bit here. 4-1 now, Orioles. So we just got to keep this Twins offense shut down. And Ryan Jeffers ties the game up. Unbelievable. We take a 7-4 lead, though. We're going to bring in, let's see, we're going to bring in Brian Baker. Single, pop-up, fly out. A run scores, a walk. 2-run score off of one of our best relievers. Jacob Webb gets the ground out. That is tough. Let's see if he can pitch another inning for us. Walk, single, one more pitch, and he gives up 2 runs. Not a good move by me in a must-win game. Cano comes in. He can't get an out. Let's see if we can get some runs here. Griffin Jacks gives up a solo shot to Juan Soto, double by Gunnar. Jackson Holiday drives in a run. Jorge Alcala in the pitch, and it's a 1-run game. We're going to bring in Carlos Estevez, has a 1-2-3. So bottom of the 9th against Duran is Nolan Gorman ground out. Jazz ground out. and Ryan Mountcastle. We have been eliminated. Not a good move by me to leave Brian Baker in. I really trusted him to get the job done right there, and he didn't. I shouldn't have took him out. He was struggling, so that is on me. Back-to-back eliminations from the playoffs. Not good. We got one more year to make this happen. I'm going to go ahead and get the free agency and trade, and hopefully we have a World Series title in the final and third season. And try to win a World Series with the Baltimore Orioles. Didn't really make a ton of moves. Didn't really see a need to, really. And not to sound lazy or that I didn't really want to make a lot of moves. It's just this roster looks good. I mean, we have an ace. We have 480 overalls in our rotation. Well, really five. I forgot Dean Kramer hit 80 overalls. So, I mean, our rotation's set. Did add Jeff Hoffman to the bullpen. Had a really good year last year with the Yankees, 3.08 ERA, 1 year, $6.8 million deal. We brought Carlos Estevez back. Had a really good year as well for us. Cano, Baker. I mean, our bullpen was pretty good overall. I thought that a lot of these guys got the job done. Obviously, Batista. We ended up signing Francisco Mejia to be our backup catcher. Had 17 home runs last year. Obviously, he's not going to get 134 at-bats with us. But maybe he, could do a little bit more than Gary Sanchez did. He just not get the job done. We did also sign Willie Castro. And I made some moves, but not anything major is what I meant to say. Like, not any major moves. But I did sign Willie Castro. Didn't really hit a lot last year, but a guy who could play everywhere, give guys days off. 1 year, $6.1 million deal. And that's pretty much the moves I made just to upgrade our bench a little bit. Our lineup's pretty much set across the board. I mean, Jackson Holiday. I mean, other than that, our team's pretty set. So I like the way our team looks. Hopefully we can hit in the playoffs and win a World Series. He's going to get Hunter Harvey from the Guardians, having a solid campaign. Only 31, so has 3 years left on his deal. We're going to trade Emilio Rubio, 22-year-old deep potential, probably won't ever turn anything. And Perez. Perez is having a down year. Feel like we just need to upgrade the bullpen, make a change. So I'm going to make this deal. At the trade deadline, Edward Cabrera's on the trade block. He's still only 27, 4.02 ERA. We're going to trade them Tyler Wells and Connor Norby. Connor Norby, 76 overall. There's not really much of an opportunity with us. Like, we have some opportunities on the bench, but just he's a guy who should probably play every day. So we're going to send him a pretty good prospect in him. And Tyler Wells just hasn't really been as good this season. And Edward Cabrera's 4 years younger, higher overall. I think he could really make a good 3 or 4 next to Grayson Rodriguez and Dean Kramer. So I'm going to go ahead and make this deal as well. And we're at the trade deadline, like I said, and we're sitting at 63 and 47. We're 2 games up on the Yankees. Not going to look at everybody's stats, just save some time, but I'm hesitant to really. I mean, we have a lot of guys contributing. We're sitting good right now. I'm just going to check maybe one play. I'm going to see, okay, Batista has 28 saves, only blown. Okay, our closer's not the problem. Like, I don't really make any major deals. I usually make deals before the deadline. And I've already made 2 trades this season. I think I'm going to run with this squad. I have confidence in this squad. We can finally get over the hump this playoffs. So I will see you guys then. Regular season and final regular season is done. Let's check out league leaders. Gunnar Henderson had 50 home runs, 148 RBIs. Juan Soto led the league in batting average, runs. Adley Rutschman led the league in walks. Man, what a year for Gunnar Henderson. Juan Soto wins the Hank Aaron Award. Gunnar Henderson wins league MVP, and Juan Soto wins the batting title. So it looks like the middle of our order is raked. Let's see how everybody did. Jazz Chisholm Jr., another solid campaign for Jazz. 21 home runs, 65 RBIs in that leadoff spot. Ryan O'Hearn had a little bit of a down year, still provided some pop. By the way, Matt McClain ended up getting hurt. I think he's going to miss the playoffs, which is a huge blow to our offense. Juan Soto, what a year he had. He's been a hell of a pickup for the Orioles. 38 home runs, 99 RBIs, 324 average, slugged 592. Gunnar Henderson, 50 home runs for Gunnar Henderson. Wow, 148 RBIs, 97 overall now. This guy's absolute slugged 613 for Gunnar Henderson. Jordan Westburg, another 22 home run campaign, or I should say 20 plus home run campaign. Jackson Holiday had a down year overall. Hopefully he can get going in this final playoff run. Adley Rutschman, another typical Adley Rutschman season. Ryan Mountcastle's really bounced back since 2024. Another 30 home run campaign. Nolan Gorman just hasn't hit for power with us. I don't know what it is about Nolan Gorman. Maybe he's one of them guys that's just cursed for me in franchise. I don't know. I get a lot of my former Cardinals and current Cardinals, and they just don't perform. Jordan Hicks, Tyler O'Neill, I don't know what it is. Let's see the bench. We did actually have Francisco Mejia get hurt as well, so that's why he is not on the roster. Had David Banulos get called up, didn't really provide too much. Willie Castro struggled bad with the bat. Kyle Stowers played good, 328 average in 15 games. And then Kyrgyzstan didn't really do much either. Let's take a look at the pitching. Kyle Bradish had a down year. Hopefully he gets it going in the playoffs. Not a horrible year, but just a down year for our ace. Corbin Burns, another ERA, or another season of an ERA above 4. Grayson Rodriguez had a good season. Edward Cabrera played solid. And then Dean Kramer, ERA still high, but for a fifth starter, that's good numbers. Chase McDermott, good season. Not great, but good season. Cade Pavic, not a great year for him. He already went up went up actually 1, so not great. Cano, not great. Brian Baker, what a cliff he fell off of. Wow. 9 ERA in 8 innings. Hunter Harvey didn't pitch well. Jeff Hoffman, ERA of 5.50. Carlos Estevez had a good season. And Batista, a lot of down years in the bull. And I looked at the trade deadline. A lot of these guys weren't really having bad seasons, so it was really just the second half really blew up on them. So let's get this postseason underway. We're facing the Houston Astros. Hopefully we can make a deep run because we've got eliminated just not the way we've wanted so far in these first 2 seasons. So this is our final chance to get a World Series. Gunnar Henderson drives in Soto to give us a 1-0 lead. I'm going to send him half innings to save us a little bit of a time. A solo shot by Dubon ties the game. The Astros take the lead. Hopefully we can get it back. Another run scores thanks to Olivares. Another run scores thanks to Dubon. And game 1 ain't looking too good. Time to go with the bullpen here. We're going to bring in Cano. Hopefully he has a good game. Double play, ground out. Solo shot by McCormick. And time to take out Cano here. We're going to bring in our long relief pitcher. 3 runs on the board there for us. We're down 2. Still 5-3. Cade Pavic still on the mound. Gives up a triple to Schammel. Hunter Harvey in the pitch. Gets out of it. So bottom of the 9th. Adley against Brian Abreu. Strikeout. Ryan Mountcastle fly out. Nolan Gorman ground. So we lose game 1, 6-3. Offense just couldn't get it going. So this is a do or die game already. 3-game series against the Astros, all at home. So we got to put on a better performance for our home crowd. Let's see if we can do it. Paul Skeens on the Astros. That's interesting, I can't say the least. This is going to be a tough game to win. Corbin Burns, though, I think can get the job done. We're being no-hit through 4 innings so far. And wow, 2 singles in a row and a double play. We end up getting a hit, but nothing after. Man, this is a pitching duel if you ever saw one in this game. We end up scoring 3 runs. Can Corbin Burns go the distance? Error, single. We got to bring in our closer. Fly out. 3-run game-tying home run by Alex Bregman. Unbelievable. Wow. Batista strikes out the side. Kenley Jansen shuts us down. That is unbelievable. Jeff Hoffman in the pitch. Strikeout for Troy. 2-run bomb by Bregman. Solo shot by Jordan. Oh my goodness, it's getting out of hand here. So Kenley Brian Abreu in to shut the door. And we have been eliminated again. Just I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I could not get this Oriole team to a deep playoff run. I made moves. I probably left Hoffman in there a little bit too long, but we were already down 2. But man, that is a tough way to end this franchise. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me trying to get the Orioles to a World Series. I really enjoyed the Orioles in this franchise. They got a lot of good young players. Really thought this roster was going to get y'all a World Series, Oriole fans. I really did. Juan Soto and Gunnar Henderson were our 2 big bats. They didn't really come alive in that series. But make sure to like and subscribe. Check out the other channel links in the description below. I will see you guys when we do. I think the Boston Red Sox will be next. So Red Sox fans, tune in. Peace.